Welcome to episode 2 of the Trinisphere, where Timmy, Johnny, and Spike come to battle over all things EDH. Brought to you by TappedOut.net. Find all of our deck lists on Tapped Out, including the ones we discussed tonight. You can also find the Trinisphere on YouTube and CommanderCast.com. With me tonight are my co-hosts,
Adam. I am the resident Johnny. You can find me on Twitter at Squire9999 or Tapped Out at Squire1.
And Ryan, the best player in the room, obviously. You can find me on Twitter at Snapmaster, or you can find me on Tapped Out as Mr. Ryan Reese.
And I'm Shannon. You can find me on both Twitter or Tapped Out as Nikki Bullis. In tonight's episode, we'll be discussing the Amonkhet set release, decks we played this week, and snacks. But before we get to any of those topics, we have a news update. Protean Hulk, really?
Yeah, so Protean Hulk got unbanned, everybody, in Commander.
Yay!
I see that we feel differently about it. So, for those of you who don't know what Protean Hulk does, let's take a read. Protean Hulk is a 6/6 creature beast for 5 green. When Protean Hulk dies, search your library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost of 6 or less and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
Value.
So note that it's CMC 6 or less, not power or toughness. It is a ton of 0-drop creatures coming out in play. Some of them which are dying immediately. I believe there's a deck already out there that, you know, with a couple of Blood Artists and whatnot, you can just instantly kill everyone in the pod.
Yeah, I mean, there's also some, like, Revelar Karmic Guide shenanigans that you can do for infinite combos pretty much right off the bat.
Yeah, I think Reddit's been hard at work cracking it in every possible color pie, so you can go look for that.
So what do we think in general?
I mean, it's Protean Hulk. It got banned for a reason, right? Now it's back, ready to reign supreme in every green deck for the obvious reasons. I mean,
yeah, I plan on playing it in a fair manner. I don't know. I mean, I've toyed around with a couple of combos, but I just don't want to flat out win the game when this thing dies. Maybe just a fairer version of Protean Hulk fetching.
I love fair demonic tutor for lots of things.
It just screams value. His name should be Value Hulk.
Oh, jeez.
So in general, you're saying that you're pro the unban?
Why would I not want to play this card?
Shannon, what are you thinking?
I am also kind of against bans. I'm just dreading the next couple of weeks or months in which a lot of new players or degenerate players play with their new toy. So I'll be running a lot of Containment Priests now in the lot. Maybe a little bit of the Mind Sensor that's so cheap right now. So
I'm just a little confused as to why this one was the choice. You know, if you're gonna unban something, I just don't feel like this was the card, because this is innately by itself kind of broken. And I mean, that said, look, I can combo with this thing for days, and I tried to buy one as soon as I found out that it was unbanned.
Oh man, buying one was like impossible. My cart kept crashing when I tried to buy it. It just went up.
Well, I was in a meeting when I saw the announcement, and I was like, oh, there's still $2. Maybe when I get out of the meeting. 2 hours later, nope, they're $20. Yeah. So
sorry.
So they are going back down. You know, I don't think this is going to impact the format too much, to be perfectly honest.
I don't think so either,
I don't think you're going to
yeah.
see these as much as you might think. I think they'll see play in more competitive decks.
I think a couple people will play with them a little bit just to see why they were banned. Some of the newer EDH players who've never seen it, they'll play with it for a little while, then they'll probably move on. They'll be like, yep, that card.
Wait, I know for a fact one person in our play group is definitely going to be.
Oh yeah, well I can name two. I think two.
Two,
yeah. There's two definitely.
Oh, yeah. two for certain.
Yeah, not even in this room right now. There's two.
No, absolutely. So along with our Protean Hulk being banned, we also had, being unbanned, we also had a banning for EDH.
Leovold, Emissary of Trest. Your thoughts, Ryan?
Pure sadness.
It's a very emotional roller coaster you're going through with these announcements.
I feel like Magic's constantly just toying with me, or Wizards is constantly just saying, Ryan, you're gonna have a bad day. I don't understand what's going on anymore. But okay, realistically, I hate to see him go. The guy's oppressive. Like, really oppressive.
You know, I've never actually played against him. I've just heard a lot of horror stories.
Okay, I'll just give a quick example.
Yeah.
There was one day I sat down with actually Adam here and 2 other people. On turn 4, I had my Leovold in play. I wheeled. Everyone just sat and watched me play Magic probably for another 10 turns while I slowly killed them.
I mean, there is also another player in our group who typically plays green and blue.
Only.
Who built a Leovold deck, and I mean it was oppressive. Like, I'm not for banning. I don't think this needed to be banned. There are plenty of answers to it. It is a really strong deck.
Lightning Bolt kills it.
Oh, nobody plays Lightning Bolt in
Hey man,
EDH.
Lightning Bolt kills it though.
I play Lightning Bolt. I guess like responding with the Notion Thief. Like, I don't know. Like, what are the decent responses?
I mean, I think it's just removal, right? I mean, it just eats removal.
He nets you a card, right? When you target it, whenever you or a permanent you control becomes a target. Oh my gosh, it covers all of your things.
Everything, lands, everything.
Spells or abilities.
Yes.
Wow. He's netting card advantage, and you're losing card advantage.
Right.
Just trying to spot remove him all day, and he's only a 3-mana creature, which means. In green, so they're going to be able to pay that tax for quite a while.
Right. So as we talk about this, note that Leovold Emissary of Trest is a legendary creature, elf 3/3 for Sultai, which is black, green, blue. Then he says each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. And he also says whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. So when we're talking about him being oppressive, the first ability where each opponent can only draw 1 card each turn, basically Teferi's Puzzle Box, Winds of Change, or not Winds of Change.
It's in red, but yes.
Yeah, right.
Was it Wheel and Deal? No,
There's so many.
Windfall.
Windfall's a big one.
Windfall type effects.
Dark Deal.
Right. Are going to throw everybody off. I mean, Howling Mine is going to give you card advantage and nobody else card advantage. This
Rites of Flourishing.
Right. This can be very strong, very oppressive. I think it was built for a format that doesn't exist anymore.
RIP Tiny Leaders.
Right.
Makes sense.
I don't know that I agree that it needed to be banned, but I generally want to unban all the things. So, I mean, like, you can keep Lotus banned, and I'm good other than that. So, yeah. Rip Leovold.
Whatever.
You got your Protean Hulk, so you're good, right?
They'll print other cards.
Other broken cards.
It happens all the time.
So, let us know in the comments how you feel about the bans
Slash
unban, and what kind of broken shenanigans you've come up with for Protean Hulk. And moving on from that, we are going to start talking about some new products.
Yep. Next up, we've got Arch Enemy Nicol Bolas. Oh yes, thank you.
Timmy be screaming.
Finally, yes. I've been playing Arch Enemy in EDH for a long time now. Now at least I get a dedicated set with my boy Nikki B at the top.
Just to clarify this wonderful radio that you're about to get, my face is just blank. Like, I don't care about this product at all.
You don't like Arch Enemy?
No.
Fair.
It's boring.
It's fair.
It's a boring dying product. Why did Wizards think, like, you know what? Now's the time. Now we have to bring this product that nobody cared about back.
Didn't we get at least new commanders out of Arch Enemy, or was it really just Plane Chase that kind of
Plane Chase had some new legendary.
That's where like Maelstrom Wanderer originated from.
Nikki, I am thinking that this product is at the very least going to have whatever the new Nicol Bolas card is in it.
Right.
I hope. If it doesn't, then all bets are off. This product is going to be garbage. No, I'm sorry. This isn't. It's not my format. I mean, I feel like this is more for you, where you can do all the big Arch Enemy plays.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Fighting 3v1s. That's the best.
Do we have any more knowledge except for the fact that it's been announced?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they might have MSRP out there, but I don't think anything else.
I mean, what my feeling towards this product is that, I mean, I would love to see the King tumble. I mean, that's the joy I would have. Is, I mean, someone's like, you want to play Arch Enemy? Sure. Do you want
But as it goes, kind of out of the box sealed products, Arch Enemy's Arch Enemy is pretty decent to play, at least. I mean, once you start modifying it, it falls apart instantly.
Yeah.
Unless they have like a Wizard of Oz themed deck in there, I really don't care about this product at all. I'm sorry.
All right, well, let's move on to Iconic Masters.
Okay, so Iconic Masters. I have opinions on this because I'm already a little salty about it.
Don't you have opinions on everything?
I am very opinionated. So
Today, in Adam's rant blog.
right. So the first thing is, I think it's really interesting that there is going to be a release of this where nobody has any idea what the cards are.
Seems suspicious, right?
No, I think that's actually interesting.
I think it's suspicious.
I think going into HasCon, and the people who play at HasCon are going to be the only people who have ever seen cards from this set, is at least a very interesting thing. Like, you don't experience that anymore.
Yeah, that's
True,
that's the
Spoiler
literal
season,
point
we
they're trying
needs
to.
it.
That's what they're trying to do.
Right, absolutely. Which I think that is really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the flip side of that, I believe that the description said something along the lines of the most iconic dragons, demons, sphinxes, angels, and something green that I don't care about.
Worm.
Hydras.
Hydras,
God.
that's what it
Hydras.
was.
Okay, and so
I guess as a Timmy, I should be excited for all of the garbagey bulk rares
the
that are
bulk
about to
bomb
be printed.
rares?
I mean, are you super excited about just new art on bad demons and bad hydras?
No. And we already had our angels recently, so
Right.
FTV?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited about Icon. I mean, I would like a consecrated sphinx that doesn't have a horrible border on it. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to that, but
I mean, look, Wizards has proven me wrong plenty of times with sets that I just haven't been hype about.
yeah.
And if once the lists of cards come out, it's actual good stuff. But I think that it's one more Masters product that we don't need coming this soon. The description is just sad in my opinion.
I don't know. I see a lot of potential, but in my thoughts, I'm like, oh, they're trying to do so much with creating the feeling of opening packs and not just the fit of a feeling of a kid on Christmas. And
Right.
but I feel like they have the opportunity here to print some staples for sure. I mean,
Right.
the next I made a claim on Twitter, I think as soon as I found out about this, saying that Eternal Dragon is for sure going to be in a set, whether it's at rare or uncommon. It's
but I mean,
definitely gonna be,
do we care about an Eternal Dragon reprint? I mean, yeah, like it's a decent enough card, but I mean, you're gonna get that.
No, but
maybe.
It's a limited bomb. I mean, I feel like this is gonna be a limited format. Like that's what it's gonna be like.
Sure.
With minute reprints that are actually relevant.
So you're definitely the only one of us that cares.
Probably.
If it's a limited.
Yeah, probably.
Would you be excited to draft it, I guess?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be extremely. I don't know if you guys drafted Modern Masters. What is this? The third one? The third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun format.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
I did not.
You didn't get a
I
chance?
bought a box. I didn't draft it.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say, Amonkhet has been pretty sweet for draft, though. It's really good.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Crack the code.
Sealed was interesting too. But
Sealed was interesting.
All right. Well, next up, we've got the Commander Anthology. In this Commander Anthology, we have 5 previously released Commander decks, starting with Guided by Nature, featuring Freyalise, Lanoir's Fury. Then we have, following that one, we have Evasive Maneuvers, featuring Derevi, the Imperial Tactician. Next up, we have Heavenly Inferno, featuring Kalia of the Vast. And then we have Plunder the Graves by Marin of Clan Neltoth. And then finally, we have... Oh, no, it's only 4.
it's only 4 decks.
Okay.
Oh, it's only 4 decks?
Yeah, it's
that's
4
true.
decks.
I thought you should come with 5.
So-
Maybe I'm mistaken. Why do we need another Freyalise Lanoir's Fury deck?
I mean, it is the Titania deck also, right?
Okay.
So, here's...
Oh, you know what? It makes sense they did this because I was going to say, obviously the most popular one was Deretti.
No, it's not Deretti though. It's Derevi.
Derevi, the band.
No, I'm saying the
band
most popular
bird.
one was Deretti. The red,
Oh
the
yeah,
mono
yeah.
red one.
Of the.
Oh, you're talking about the
And it had Wormcoil and stuff. Yeah, of the
Yeah.
Planeswalker.
Right.
Or maybe it's a Fury. But Deretti just got a reprint in Brea.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of like...
I just don't know who was chomping at the bit to get another Freyalise.
I think that the supplemental products, I think they need to stop.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, who is this for? I want to know what the target demographic was for this.
I want a cheap Kalia.
Sure.
She's
You're not going to
currently
get one.
sitting at $37.
I don't think you're going to get one because Kalia is probably going to be foil in this because it's probably the only way that they can sell this product is making the commanders foil because they've not been foil before, most of them.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and so it'll be monetarily valued, but then the price will skyrocket, and so you're not going to get a Kalia unless you want to pay way too much money for this product.
I do want to pay way too much for a foil Kalia.
Fair enough. I do not. I am not planning on buying this product. The Derevi deck and the Kalia deck are the only ones that are somewhat interesting because I wasn't really playing that much back then, so I didn't buy all of the commander decks, but I'm still...
Let me tell you, Freyalise is anemic. The Marin deck is fairly decent.
I liked the Marin deck straight out of the box. That was fun.
It was in our league when we
it was very powerful.
It was
in our league where we play with the precons and slowly modify them over the duration of the league. The Marin deck was pretty tough to beat early on.
That was by far the best one out of that.
Unless you were playing Boros Giants. What?
You get there, buddy.
No, that was by far the strongest one out of the box, man.
It was the strongest one out of the box.
And I think
in that league it was the Izzet. It was Mizzix who ended up taking it for us, right? It was Mizzix who ended up winning out that league.
I think so by like the final week. Or maybe there was just enough happening.
Degenerate spells decks kind of got there in the end.
Yeah.
All right. Next up on the list of discussion topics is Commander 2017. Now this thing is coming out early,
way early.
Yeah, which has got us excited. Like we said, we do every year, every time one of these sets come out, we do a Commander League amongst our group where we all start with the precon unmodified, play it for about a week, and then after the end of that week, we allow 5 modifications, and then each week following 5 more modifications cumulative, and then we just see who can build a better deck and at what rate. And then we see where the cards lie. Adam, I think you have the trophy, don't you?
I do have the trophy from last go around.
Yeah, it turns out Atraxa is a pretty decent commander.
It does.
Yeah.
Even if you take out Atraxa...
Oh, yeah, you did, and you still won. Yes, that's true.
I took out Atraxa about halfway through, and I built an Enchantress deck out of Atraxa.
But it was I'm pretty sure it was too late. You were so far ahead that we couldn't catch you.
Yeah.
I believe you were the only one who actually played Atraxa in that league that year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was actually...
That's super weird.
Because
there was a really strong deck.
It was like blatantly the best.
Everyone knew that going in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay. Yeah, no.
Yep.
Kineas and Tiro is really good. And
we had like
way more fun.
We had
3 players playing.
3 of those, and I think someone kind of went back into it.
We had
at
2
one point.
Saskias, and then we had a couple of the Yidrises.
And I mean, I was playing Brea.
But so Commander 2017 is coming out. What is it? August, right? I believe.
I think it's
June.
Sooner than that. They're pushing it forward. They're pushing it forward for the Magic.
Yeah, I knew they were pushing it forward, but I didn't think it was that far forward. Wow.
I mean.
So what we know so far about it is, other than it's coming a lot earlier than usual, is that it is going to be tribal, and there's only going to be 4 decks this time instead of the normal 5, because they're not locked into certain color combinations.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think about the tribal spin?
This right here, bear with me, it would probably be very frustrating for some people out there, but this is a perfect opportunity for them to reprint 5 color slivers with all 3 of the expensive.
Yeah, I think there was a conspiracy theory in our group that maybe we're going to get a bunch of 5 color decks.
Like 4 or 5 color?
Including Chord of Notions, Elemental deck. Like, it could be pretty ridiculous.
Well, somebody said 3 5 color decks, and the 4th one would be colorless Karn.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
but,
all tribal, yeah.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, that would be a ballsy move, Wizards. Wow.
Don't do that.
I personally do feel like this is a perfect opportunity for them to reprint slivers. So I think it's going to happen. Probably not, but think about it. You get 3 generals in a row: Queen, Overlord, and Legion.
Can't reprint Queen.
Hive Lord is also
reserved.
Queen is reserved.
Yeah,
but you got Hive Lord. You got Hive Lord who's the indestructible 5/5.
Oh, then you just reprint Hive Lord.
Yes,
yeah,
you
okay.
can do that.
Yeah. And then so then you have your sliver deck. I mean, granted, I don't know what the other tribes would be, but that would go across your color pipe.
So, and I think the main pervasive theory is that you're getting just the generic tribes. You're getting like zombies. You're getting merfolk. You're getting goblins.
Yeah, I want to say Gavin. Very. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, Gavin. He, I believe, tweeted out saying that at least, because I think he was in charge of design for them, at least one of them will surprise you greatly. like the tribe that was chosen. So there's probably going to be at least one that's super offbeat. I'm shooting for kobolds.
Oh yeah, of Kirkheap. Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Not happening.
No, yeah. I would love it. I actually think that they're probably going to do. I hope actually, with Amonkhet having just come out and we have some white zombies in it now, I'd like to see an Esper zombie build.
Oh, Esper.
That could be interesting.
Sweet. That would be interesting.
Yeah, we need like three new commanders for that. That would be like zombie centric. That could be cool.
So, what do you think about what is the reason that they omitted effectively if they're doing wedges or whatnot? There's one wedge just not represented.
No, they're not doing wedges. They said they're not tied into specific color segments. So it's possible that we get one that's a wedge, one that's a monocolor, and one that's a guild set.
That's bold. Then the balancing for this set would be pretty tough to do.
Absolutely, yeah. Because if you put you make a monocolored deck, you're talking very weak.
The mana is much easier to play with.
Not if it's mono blue.
Sure, mono blue.
I mean, it'll probably be Merfolk. Yeah. Like if they do a mono blue, they'll just do a Merfolk deck, which I think is honestly playable.
Yeah.
The commander has to be a pretty bomb lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not excited at the fact that this is tribal. I feel like one of the greatest things about even our little league is that we can take it in a lot of creative, freedom when we're designing the decks, but tribal really pretty much pigeonholes you into exactly what they designed that deck to do off the bat. So it's going to be hard, especially with our little five changes a week thing, to really break apart the synergies that they put in those decks to right out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I do disagree. I am pretty excited about it because they all seem like they have the potential for a lot of theming. Like they can be very thematic and interesting decks. Maybe getting some reprints of some like really offbeat cards, which I mean, not everybody's into as much as I am. But
no, we don't care. Maybe they can reduce some of the wording on some of these cards.
It's possible.
Yeah, maybe.
If they do Merfolk, they'd have the opportunity to reprint. What's that really expensive Merfolk they printed in one of the commander sets?
Oh, True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't think I'm not super excited about it. But league is league, and it looks like I looked it up. It's coming out in June, so that is right around the corner.
I am excited for that. At the very least, like I enjoy league time. I'm gonna lose my trophy, everybody. I know it already. It's fine.
You got some people gunning for you now.
I do have people gunning for me now.
But like you said earlier, though, I am pretty trusting. Wizards does make pretty decent product. I was very skeptical when Conspiracy came out about how that haul worked, but Conspiracy turned out to be a blast. So I'm definitely willing to give them the benefit of the doubt.
The Commander products have been getting better and better, so I'm very.
I feel like you've been trying a lot harder.
Yeah, I like because Commander is one of the more growing formats. So.
Vastly growing.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Ixalan, the announcement of the next set.
Yes, Ixalan. So it looks like it is a South American themed set. I mean, like tribal South American themed set. So I doubt they're going to go with one specific tribe from South America. It's probably going to be Mayan, Incan, Aztec all thrown together. Is my guess.
Right.
So
that's pretty cool.
Go pyramids. I'm down.
Oh yeah, more pyramids. A lot of sacrificing going on. Hopefully.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like there might be that. Yeah. Hopefully, like some maybe Green doing some like cultivate. Like horticultural type things.
Okay.
I'm hoping for a return of Merfolk.
Oh yeah.
It looked like from the packaging there might be a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like almost like Atlantis, didn't it?
Well, it could be like Atlantean too. It's hard to say where they're going
right?
because we only saw
the packaging.
A little bit of packaging. Yeah. Atlantean would be super cool.
I think so.
Would be.
And the return of Merfolk would also be awesome.
Yes.
I mean, as much as I enjoy them kind of like bringing in our real world cultures and representing the game, I would like to see some stuff that I don't read about in textbooks, I want to see something crazy that I've never even heard of before. So Atlantean might be pretty decent. Right. If we get another history lesson via South American cultures, that's fine too. Kaladesh was okay, and Amonkhet was pretty decent. So we'll see how it goes, I guess.
So I actually hate both of those sets for that. Like,
just because they're like
I think Kaladesh did a horrible job of showing what Indian culture or
Yeah.
Hindu culture is at all.
Yeah, so
I'm a little afraid. Like, please just don't come at Italy, okay? Like I
Did
don't
you
want
see the
to
panel where they asked a lot of questions? I think somebody from India came on and asked them about Kaladesh, and kind of their big thing was that because it is a current living culture and religion, they had to be very careful and very kind of like timid in how they approached it. They
Sure.
they couldn't even have a Luxodon. Everyone's like, where's the Luxodon? Where are the elephants?
Right,
They said, we can't do it. We can't do it. There's a living,
too
breathing
on the
culture
nose, yeah.
that respects these things. So if we just slip up in the most minor way, it's going to cause too much of a nightmare of sorts. So
Fair enough.
they went light on
PR
Kaladesh.
nightmare.
so
Yeah,
so
they went
they,
light on Kaladesh.
so they did a good job in Amonkhet then?
I don't know. It has tons of nickel bolus in it, so I love it. So
There
I don't
were a
know,
couple
you know.
cute little things that they did with Egyptian culture, but it's I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Because I don't recall the crossover of Egyptian history with Dune. I don't know where the giant sandworms.
I'm also a big fan of Dune, so Sandworm Convergence. I've been linking to other people just pictures from Dune, the movies and whatnot, saying, "Oh, here's your sandworm." Loving it. The spice must flow.
So anyway, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of. I'm still skeptical on Ixalan, but it's a new set, and I'm always hyped for any spoiler season. So,
I mean, Ixalan's. I don't know. I like you just said. All sets that come out are exciting, and I agree. I mean, we are gonna get into it here in a minute, obviously, but I'll say that I'm mildly disappointed with the commanders from this set, for me at least. But
Yeah.
but that is my biggest hope for the new sets to come out. That
they didn't reprint and unban Crystal Brand. That was the problem.
that would be amazing.
All right, next
my
up,
God.
we are going to be talking about the commanders from Amonkhet. All right, Amonkhet commanders.
All right, so the first Amonkhet commander we have is Oketra the True, which is a legendary creature god, 3/6 for 3 generic and a white. Oketra has double strike, indestructible. Oketra Oketra can't attack or block unless you control at least 3 other creatures. For 3 and a white, you can create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. So, thoughts on Oketra?
2 lose for me.
I like double strike on this thing. I like that she effectively turns herself on by making the tokens that she needs to attack. But I feel like Heliod just made better guys.
That's exactly where I was.
And they gave your board vigilance. So, is this like a Voltron version of Heliod? It's strange.
I think this is honestly a worse version of Heliod.
And Heliod does not see play. I don't
Heliod is probably one of the least played gods.
Yeah, I can't even think of a deck. Not even mono white players seem to be playing Heliod. Maybe a couple of them here and there.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I think it's playable just to have kind of a big beater in white, because you're probably going to have three other creatures. That's not difficult to do, but
But
I
a
also
6/6
wouldn't recommend it, and I don't see it and I'm only talking about it in the 99. This is definitely not at the head of a deck.
Yes,
It's 4 mana to make a
4 mana to make a
one.
1/1 with vigilance.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah.
At least Heliod made a 2/1 enchantment creature, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So you can trigger your Idol on a Blossom.
There's a lot of value.
Right.
Up next, we've got Kefnet the Mindful.
Ooh.
We got a 2 colorless, 1 blue, flying indestructible. Kefnet can't attack or block unless you have 7 or more cards in hand. You can pay 3 and a blue to draw a card, then you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. It's also a 5/5. I like this guy.
He's pretty sweet. In fact, when I first read him, I was like, "Oh, he's pretty good," but I thought you must return a land to your hand.
I thought must also. That's
because I think it was a translation from the whatever one that was.
Oh, yeah, it was-
and so they got the translation wrong, and I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty good," but man, when it became a May, holy crap, this guy got really good.
So I kind of actually want to use this guy at the head of a deck.
Yeah, because
we can do Moonfolk Tribal, and we can bounce all the lands to our hands.
Oh wow, that is deep. Yeah, I like that.
I want to get all of the bouncing lands to hand and the very few blue landfall triggers.
So you're waiting for the Sunder unban, so you could just bounce all lands to all hands.
I'm going to then build this deck the proper way and beat you.
So pretty much, I've talked to a couple people about it. Basically, turns 1 and turns 2, you're just land go.
Yeah,
Right.
just like
And
any
you're basically trying not to commit anything, maybe like a ponder or something along those lines, a brainstorm. And then you get him down, and then you're on counter duty, and they're trying desperately to stop the 5/5 flying beats through your counter spells.
Also commander damage.
Yes,
They have a very short
quick
time
clock,
period.
clock, and they're trying to remove it, but you're countering it, and then you're just bouncing your lands back to your hand in order to keep him active.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, other than the weird Moonfolk idea that I came up with, this honestly feels like a mostly draw-go control style deck.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Which is not super interesting to me. Like, I'm completely bored by that concept.
Yeah.
But yes, it could see play. I don't actually think this is gonna see a whole lot of play.
It's not,
It
but
probably
there'll be somebody
won't,
out there. I mean, you got your Brawl players, like these kind of
Jesus,
like, yeah, you got these people who are like they have almost, I have a lot of gimmicky decks that are like one-trick ponies,
Right.
but there are good gimmicky decks,
Yeah.
and this could be one of them. You know, it'll do the exact same thing every single time it's played, but it will be pretty decent.
It'll see more play than Okechra.
That is absolutely true.
I can't disagree with that.
Okay, just make sure.
No.
All right, next up we got Bantu the Glorified. This is a 3 mana. It's 2 and a black for a 4/6 with Menace and Indestructible. And Bantu the Glorified can't attack or block unless a creature died under your control this turn. Also, for a colorless, a black, and a sacrificing of another creature, you can scry 1, and then each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life.
All right. Can I go for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
I opened this in my sealed pool. This card is slow and garbage.
What?
Really? I guess triggering the death might be a little difficult in limited.
I mean, even like, oh my god, I gain 1 life. Great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing EDH. I want the full EDH experience. I want it to not only do 1 to everybody at the table. I want to gain 1 life for everybody at the table. I want this to be extort.
Yeah, they've been getting rid of the scaling.
Yeah.
They've been getting rid of the scaling life gain. Now it's been a lot of your opponents lose X, but then you only gain exactly X, not X multiplied
Right.
by the number of players.
Like, I mean, from a design perspective, like, I appreciate at least that they are saying to each opponent, like, each opponent loses 1 life.
Yep.
So it's not completely useless in EDH. And the scry is not useless. I mean, scry in black, first of all, like, is not super common other than Viscerous here, right?
And Read the Bones, which is pretty popular. This reminds me of Vampiric Rites, which is a card that I actually run in some sacrifice-centric decks. And that one is a enchantment that says for a colorless and a black and sacrificing of a creature, you gain a life and draw a card. So obviously that's a bit of an upgrade over Scry 1 and Drain 1.
I'd rather draw a card, I think.
But I think he fits almost the same kind of role where you're just trying to generate. It's more important that the creatures are dying than there's an ability that's being gained from them, because you'll have a lot of other synergies that are triggered off of a death of a creature. So then the stealing of life is a nice little upgrade there. So if you add on a 4/6 Menace Indestructible on top of that, it's really not that bad of enchantment in a sacrifice-centric deck, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it.
I think the guy has value. I mean, it's not like a lot. It's not like he accrues value.
Yeah, there's no.
If it was pay 2, sacrifice a creature, draw a card, and then the life leech happen.
Right.
I would consider.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I know you mentioned that. But I'm sorry.
So you play a mono black deck right now.
Correct.
Would you play this card in it?
Not
in the 99.
Not in its current build, no.
Right.
But in like maybe a Yahani deck, just things where you're trying to go for that
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, honestly, you take away everything, it is an indestructible sack outlet.
Yep. I might be trying it out in Athreos sacrifice deck.
Yeah.
I might be trying it out.
Yeah.
But I'm not super psyched. I'm not like going to be cutting anything good for it.
Right. All right, so the next one that we have is my personal favorite, which is Hazaret the Fervent.
Oh, buddy.
Hazaret is for 3 generic and a red. We get a 5/4 legendary creature god that is indestructible and has haste. Hazaret the Fervent can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Also, for 2 generic and a red, discard a card. Hazaret deals 2 damage to each opponent. So again, each opponent, I'm glad that they actually thought to do that.
Yep.
I think that this goes in a very specific, very niche build in mono red. I think that this fits in Feldon, no problem.
Yeah.
Because you can bring him back or bring a token of him into play and swing with him because you're likely to not have cards in hand. you're constantly wanting to get rid of cards. So if I can pay 3, ditch a giant beater into the yard, and deal 2 to everybody at the same time, I'm pretty happy in that deck.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like there's been I've been trying to build a Rakdos deck for a while now, and I never found anything that I really liked. Rakdos is really tough. And of course, there's somewhere out there's a madness threshold style hellbent deck that can be built. And I feel like this guy gives it a bit of a shot. I haven't really found a list that seemed good. If you guys have a list for a Rakdos, any kind of Rakdos deck, let me know, because I've never been excited to see a Rakdos EDH deck. But I feel like this guy gives a bit of a boost in that area. So I'm waiting to see how he pans out.
I think okay, in my personal opinion, having no cards in hand usually is a weak thing. I don't enjoy having no cards in hand. I don't enjoy top decking. I don't appreciate her ability all that much, to be honest with you. However, if I were to try and apply her, you mentioned Rakdos, the Hellbent status idea. Sure, not where I'd take it. I was thinking more of like just more of a group slug deck. Like you play Sire of Insanity into her, or her into Siren of Insanity, and then you have no cards in hand already, and you have these beaters, and no one has cards. So
she's in the vacuum. She's just
you having no cards in hand is fine as long as they have no cards in hand, in my opinion. Because you have the beaters, she's indestructible. They kill Siren of Insanity and start to get back in the game, but you're just bashing face, pitching your one card. Maybe it has madness, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. That's
right.
Yeah. Seems pretty decent.
Up next we have Ronas the Indomitable. It's 2 generic and 1 green. Death Touch indestructible. Can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. Pay 2 generic and a green. Another target creature gets +2/+0, gains trample and until end of turn. It's also a 5/5. Realistically, it's just another dude. I mean, it's a very valuable dude when it comes to efficiency for mana cost.
It reminds me a lot of Nylea. Like, it is very similar to Nylea in that it pumps a guy, and
is boring.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. Be that as it is the easiest god to probably
it's super easy to
activate. I mean, it's probably why it's poking like $17 right now.
I mean, that's standard play, honestly. Like, the reason he's poking $17 is because you can turn to a Lambhold Pacifist or whatever it is, which is a 3/3 for 2, and then it can't attack or block unless there's a creature with power 4 or greater.
Synergies.
Yeah.
Synergies.
So then you turn 3, or and then you play Miss of Vast, where you put and counter something, and that thing turns into a 4/4 for no reason, can attack because it checks itself. EDH application. He's just a dude. Like, I mean, if you're going,
I mean, I feel like it's green doing green, which like I'm always torn on, because like, if green just does what the green color pie says, it's super boring. But then when they get outside of that, green gets way too strong.
That's why Harmonize is a good card.
Right.
You start touching base on things that green shouldn't do, and then you're talking a good card. This is just another Stompy card.
He really needs Trample. He needs
Death Touch is a weird one, but it's probably because he's a snake.
Because if he had Death Touch and Trample, like
Death Touch and Trample?
Oh, that would be busted.
Be so good.
You can't get them both. Sorry,
he'd be a commander. He'd be a Voltron commander. It's like blog with everything, and he just
just give him. I would take Trample over Death Touch in this instance.
Yeah,
it would give him very, very high application for Voltron.
Right,
and I would appreciate that. I could look at him in a more competitive fashion, but right now I just look as a.
Right.
Why aren't you playing?
It's a giant blocker for some reason.
Like, why aren't you playing Azusa?
I do like his activated ability giving trample. I feel
cool.
like this is a mono green Kessig, effectively. That's what I'd be running this as.
Sure.
Like, you need to get a little extra damage in here. This is a 3-mana enchantment that you can Kessig your boys with, effectively, or a giant mana dump of some kind.
Right.
Maybe you get there with your Putrefax and a ton of mana, and just surprise somebody, just straight up pants them. But beyond that, even as a Timmy. I'm not super excited about Ronas because you're right. He's very bland. Somebody could have guessed what this card did.
Right.
The only surprising part was a Death Touch.
Yeah.
Everything else somebody could have called without any creative thought.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
It's the most insipid of designs. So moving on from that, I think is actually a pretty interesting design that a lot of people were surprised by some of it, which is Samet, Voice of Dissent. So for 3 generic, a red, and a green, you get a 3/4 legendary creature, human warrior, with flash, double strike, vigilance, and haste.
All the abilities. Ability soup.
And other creatures you control have haste. And for white and tap, you can untap target creature.
Mario threw up all over that card.
Oh man. So this like harkens back to like the Bane Slayer Angel days where they just it's word soup. I mean Sphinx the Steel Wind in the original Chromas. This thing just got so many abilities.
I mean the one thing that I've heard a lot of is why did it have to have green on it? Like why isn't this just Boros? Because Boros is in desperate need of a good commander.
Yeah,
and this would be very applicable.
You're right.
It would have been perfect.
Yeah,
but instead it's Naya, and Naya has selection of decent commanders.
Yep.
I think that this is going to get overshadowed. I do think it's also playable. I mean, it hits for 6. Like again, this is boring to me. Like this feels like a green card. Like hey, it hits for a lot.
Yeah. It's a combatant. It's a combatant commander. It doesn't have any tricks. It goes into a single deck.
Right. The untap another target creature is the only interesting part of this card.
Yeah, which is really strange. So like that's the one part that I think we all focused in on. Like, oh man, I could make extra Godsire tokens with this thing, or something along these lines of like how do you bust a Naya untap thing open? So, but it feels like you're wasting it because look at her combat abilities, look at her power and her stats and everything. So it feels like using her untap ability is literally the weakest thing of all. So
yeah,
she's
pretty strange.
To me, she seems. I don't know why she's flash. Like,
yeah, that one's weird too. It's like, hey, you like Voltron? Guess what? Now you can flash her in, so you have your mana to do all equips on your turn.
Yeah,
that's basically what that was all about.
You know, it's so strange too. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate that R&D's taking the time to go out and make these tricolored generals because they did it with Tassiger. That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they're doing it is great for Commander. Why it looks like that, I don't know.
I think that the flash, to be honest, I think that the first ability and the third ability are what really go together. I think the flash is meant to go with the other creatures you control have haste. So that somebody might, like, you're in a position, but they're like, I got at least a turn before I have to deal with you. And then you can flash this in if it's in the 99. You flash this in, give your team haste, and they're like, oh, okay, it's a now problem, not a next turn problem. And then you swing out with it.
But I mean, couldn't you just like main phase that one then at that point too? If you need to haste them and attack.
Yeah, I get.
So like, I guess the one time. Well, I guess the one time what you're talking about maybe is you have tap abilities open. And they think they have summoning sickness, but
that all seems just
bad. You're like flashing it in to activate the tap abilities of these creatures on an opponent's turn.
Even I don't go that deep.
This is too deep, guys. Let's move on.
Let me say one more thing. I've been working on a Saskia Snoo deck, all ladies, all beats, and I am super excited to put Salmon in there because she kicks some serious ass. So I'm pretty happy to see. What you give me the eyes like it's not a chick.
I don't know.
No, it is a chick.
No, it's a chick. It's a chick. I just can't see anyone get joyed over this card. Like the untap ability is fine, but in that color scheme, is it?
Oh man, I'm excited for a vigilant 3/4 double striker. That's really all I'm excited about.
I wish I could say it dies a lightning bolt, but it doesn't. Man, whatever.
Flame slash maybe. I guess
that's stupid.
All right, next up we've got the Neheb the Worthy, and that is a 1 black red 2/2 legendary Minotaur warrior with first strike. It also gives other Minotaurs you control first strike. And as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, Minotaurs you control get a +2/+0. Whenever Neheb the Worthy deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card. So we were just talking about Rakdos needing a solid commander. This isn't it. This was not
terrible.
This was not good. It does kind of feel that whole Hellbent thing in the fact that if it deals combat damage, everyone discards.
You sadden me, sirs.
Oh my gosh, no.
Why?
Are you dusting off your didgeridoos right now?
Yes.
You're gonna go find all of them
this is
down
what
in there?
Theros missed.
This
card
tribal
should have been in Theros, and everybody wanted the legendary creature Minotaur so that you could do Minotaur Tribal, and now you can do it, and I'm excited. And you shut up.
I'm pretty sure. Here's the sad part. I'm pretty sure the best Minotaur in Magic is blue and red, and that is the cascading Ethereum Horn Like
Sculptor or something like that.
Yeah. He's the best one. Can't play him in this deck.
They did the same thing with Werewolf Tribal.
Yes, they punted. Yes,
They
agreed, he's not
continuously
great.
punt these tribal generals. Can we please get... Immerwolf was better than that.
Yeah,
guys.
Immerwolf was the...
Immerwolf was better.
There was the other guy that makes Minotaurs cost less. That was probably better than this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Look, I can't speak for design. I'm just saying at least people can run that deck now.
Yeah.
They're really sad about it. I'm just saying. They wanted to, and they keep getting let down.
So in best case scenario, let's see. As long as you have one or fewer cards, Minotaurs. So this is a 4/2 first striker, giving the rest of your board first strike. So not exactly easy to block. When he connects, everyone discards. That's the weird part. Is it everyone discards equally, not opponents. So
yeah.
I don't like him. I don't like.
It doesn't say each opponent discards.
It says each player discards. So
that's so.
Yeah. So it's a symmetrical effect. I mean, I think that they're gearing you toward like you're going to be aggro, you're going to be hellbent the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess plays well with Hazaret, but beyond that, not liking it very much at all.
Yeah.
So I think next up, what is it? Hapatra?
It's Hapatra. Vizier of Poisons.
Vizier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Vizier. What was it? Jafar that was a vizier?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He
nice.
was. Nice.
Yeah. Good plug.
Anyways, one black, Golgari, one black, one green, 2/2. Whenever Hapatra deals combat damage to a player, you may put a neg1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put one or more neg1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. I read jank, honestly. I see a bear that does things, I guess, but this is just all for you, Adam. Like, it looks like there's some weird shenanigans out there with glistening oil and who God knows what. So
glistening oil, that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the first ability almost doesn't exist to me. Like, it's really hard to
hit with a bear, like
right,
with no evasion and no
nothing,
combat.
yeah.
abilities.
I mean, early game, if you're in like 3-4 person pod, it's not horrible because one person probably didn't play something, so you can get in and you can kill somebody else's birds.
Like
like
a door.
Right,
yeah.
And there's no one someone's going to trade like an Oracle of Moldiah.
No,
for this
absolutely.
side. No way. It's not happening.
So I mean, it's like that's not a completely lost ability, but it's also not good. The second ability is very exploitable.
Yeah.
You can definitely do some interesting interactions with every time you put a neg1. There's so many cards over so many sets. I mean, the last time that they were really big was what, Morningtide or Shadowmoor?
Yeah, right around that block. Yeah.
So there's a lot of cards to pull from with that. Plus you could do the Infect route, super boring, but I think it's a really interesting card. It facilitates a lot of interesting combos and interactions.
Yep.
So
I think there's going to be a little bit more to talk about that later in the episode too. So we'll talk about a little bit of Hapatra, some snacks, some sneaky snacks. Last legendary we've got to talk about is Temmet, Vizier of Noctimoon. This is a white-blue 2/2, and at the beginning of the combat on your turn, target creature token you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. It also has a Balm for 5. That's 3, a white, and a blue. So this guy is a pretty strange commander in that he has a exploitable kind of like tax avoidance. He's a tax dodger. You can put him in your graveyard and then embalm him to avoid having to cast him a second time. Beyond that, he's also only 2 mana, so this guy can see a lot of play in a game. He can be removed a ton of times, and he'll still be around hanging out. I believe it was one of the other, I think it was Game Nights. They had a player playing Temmet, and they were running it with living weapons, which was pretty silly. So they were giving Bone Horde unblockable and +1/+1.
That makes sense,
the germs,
the germ
and stuff
tokens.
like that. So there's something that can be done here. There's some action that can be done with Temmet. I don't really like him though because he feels like he's pretty narrow. He reminds me of Noyandar. He's got one deck. You can probably name.
Yeah, exactly.
You can probably name like almost all the cards in that deck. Yeah. But maybe I'm wrong. If you guys can think of some pretty cool builds for Temmet, let me know. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even like duplicate the tokens with Anointed Procession because he's legendary.
Yeah.
The token doesn't do commander damage.
What do we think other than like maybe Merit Lage is the best token that you would want to give unblockable +1/+1? Merit Lage comes to mind. So I think one of the Ajani's makes a Sarah avatar.
Oh, it makes an avatar token, yes.
Yeah, that's like XX, where X is your life total. But beyond those, maybe I want to say that there was an artifact that can make 9/9 Titans. Like if you did a lot of work, constructs.
Oh yeah.
You guys are going deeper than on any of the other commanders we've even remotely.
Well, this one's got potential. I just don't see it right now.
You said the token doesn't even give
It's not commander damage.
So then why does it matter? Like I was thinking, oh, cool, it could be Voltron. He dies, big deal. Now you have yourself an
unblockable version.
Bigger version. Yeah, exactly, bigger version. Oh, it now turns into a 3/3 bashing. You equip something to it, it turns it.
I actually do think this guy's pretty boring. Like I don't think that this will see play.
I will say I was correct. There was a legendary creature with a bomb.
You did call that.
They just made a terrible one.
Yes.
Like I thought they would.
You know, sometimes when they realize they could accidentally break something, they reel it really far back.
Yeah.
AKA Tybalt. This is the Tybalt effect.
This is the Tybalt effect. Like,
they went too timid. They
Yeah.
went too timid with it.
You don't like Tipple?
Oh, God.
we think that, Embalm's going to be in the next set, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They usually build on, right?
Maybe, yes, like energy rolled through Kaladesh and Aether Revolt. Hopefully they go back at it. We get a legendary with Embalm that's a little better. Maybe not busted, just a little better.
So, what do you guys think about Amonkhet overall? Like, Adam, what do you think is your top 3 cards?
So, my top 3 cards are, in order, my favorite card is Throne of the God Pharaoh.
Slow, Nikki B showing
up. Throne of the God Pharaoh has 2 mana for a legendary artifact that says at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. There are so many decks that this goes in. It's going immediately in Seton because all I do is tap my dudes all the time. And it hits everybody. It's each opponent. So for doing passive things, I'm hitting people. So I love it. Yeah. My next one, which I'm not going to talk about too much because we already talked about it, is Hazaret. I like Hazaret. I mean, he's a little bit narrow of a strategy, but I think he's really pretty fun and interesting design for these gods. Mm-hmm. And my last one is Nest of Scarabs. For 2 and a black, you have an enchantment that says whenever you put 1 or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create that many 1/1 black insect creature tokens. There are some interesting combos with this card that can be done with other things that have already existed in Magic. It's also somewhat, just Hapatra's ability, tacked on an enchantment. So if you're building a Hapatra deck, you kind of have the ability to have a second one of these. So I think it's interesting and a fun card that has a lot of synergy to it. Ryan, how about you? What are your top 3 cards for EDH in this set?
Well, my first one is funny enough, saying how you guys like to make fun of me for playing Disenchant. I really, really enjoy Forsake the Worldly. Yeah. 1 white, 2 colorless, instant speed, exile, artifact, or enchantment.
Goodbye, gods.
So it's a little more expensive in mana than a Revoke Existence. And it's a little cheaper. It only hits 1 thing from Return to Dust. So it's like a cross between the 2. Right. 1 sorcery speed does the same thing. 1 sorcery speed hits 2 things. So yeah, I like it. But then I don't know why it would ever be a dead card in your hand. But if you really were looking for an answer, you could always cycle it for, I believe it's 1. Oh no, it's 2 colors. But I mean, you could always cycle it and look for something.
So it goes in an Astral Slide deck. Gotcha.
No comment. So then my second one is Cast Out. I mean, instant speed Oblivion Ring. I believe it speaks for itself. It goes in any kind of enchantment centric deck. It has cycling itself as well, which I don't know why you would ever want to cycle this either.
Astral Slide.
Oh my God. Say it again. Yeah, so you would, I don't know why you did recycle this, but then again, it has that option if you're really looking for something specific. But
Bad
it's
keeps, probably.
Huh?
Yeah. Bad keeps, I bet. And you're like, oh man, I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
2 lander.
I'll find a land off. Yeah, exactly. It would be like an early hand filler. But then my last card is Manglehorn. It's a 3 mana. Destroy target artifact, doesn't hit enchantment, so it's like a little bit worse than a Rex Sage, but it has this like weird annoying clause that says all of your opponent's artifacts enter tapped. So that really disrupts some people's strategies. You know, you got a lot of people playing rocks out there, all that stuff. And I like to annoy people, so...
Yeah. I'm surprised at how many people can go straight to tilt when you have them and their artifacts enter. I think it's Thalia. The new Thalia does that too.
Yeah, no,
and it just busts people wide open. They're like, I can't deal.
Like they play a top, and they're like, I can't draw a card, so you could potentially blow it up, and they can't tap it to draw a card? I don't know.
All right, let me talk about some good EDH cards. You're all on these little super efficient upgrades. Let's talk about As Foretold. This card is insano, and the price tag now shows that. As Foretold is a 2 and a blue for an enchantment, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold. Then on each turn, not just your own, every turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost of a spell you cast with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. So basically, every single player's turn, you Aether Vial anything. It could be a spell, it could be, anything. Anything, I mean, obviously it needs flash on an opponent's turn. But this card is, I hear a lot of people say, when something abuses mana costs, it's probably a degenerate card. And this one is right up that alley. I can see, Rajmi, just loving this card. Just drawing cards, playing cards, just nonstop value town.
I feel like it's either going to be the next Omniscience or the next Flight.
The next Search the City.
Yeah. This card sees a lot of potential. The fact that you could, I mean, granted, proliferate cards are not very good. I mean, Tezzer's Gambit is decent, but it has, I think, a potential in Atraxa. Yeah. Like Atraxa has a lot of stuff going on for her, and she proliferates, so it fits right in.
Next up is Vizier of the Menagerie. So back when green was not very good at EDH, which that may not have been happening. Maybe I was bad at playing green in EDH.
Probably.
But we had Garrick's Horde, and that was kind of one of the ways to get extra card value before, good cards like Tireless Tracker and those came about. When you were in green, you were working with Garrick's Horde, but he was always still a little too costly for his ability. So they decided to cut a chunk of mana off the top. So Vizier of the Menagerie is a 4 mana. It's 3 and a green for a 3/4 Naga Cleric. And it says you may look at the top card of your library. You don't have to play with Revealed, so you can peek. And I love the reminder text when they say this. You may do this at any time, just so you know. You may also cast the top card of your library if it's a creature card. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that creature. So it's even got a fixing effect on top of Garrick's Horde. And then, of course, it has the not revealing the top card that Garrick's Horde was a downside. So I like this card a lot. I think it will see play in mono green decks just as another kind of card advantage generator. And then the fixing, it could also show up in some 5-color.
It's not a snake. Get it out.
I agree with you.
Naga is weird. Yeah.
No, I do agree with you on saying the 3 to 5 color range with decks. It's very well costed with 1 green. Making 1 green is very easy.
Yeah,
but and it would feel really bad if you were playing, a multiple color deck and you reveal a card. You're like, can't cast it. It's probably one of the worst feelings. So I completely agree with that aspect of the card.
All right, last up is Nissa, Steward of Elements. So we got a Planeswalker, and it's the first ever X costing Planeswalker. She's X, and then a green and a blue, and her loyalty is X. So she starts at, she's got 3 abilities. The +2 is Scry 2, so not too bad. Doesn't really generate card advantage, but +2 is pretty good. Gonna make her hard to kill. She's got a 0 that says, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card or a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of loyalty counters on Nissa, Steward of Elements, you may put that card onto the battlefield, straight into play. Her -6 says, untap up to 2 target lands you control. They become 5/5 elemental creatures with flying and haste until end of turn. they're still lands. I love it when they give lands creatures haste just to make sure players don't screw up their land drops.
That's exactly why they do it.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. So this thing is
a lot of moto with Koth. Holy crap!
This thing she is pretty decent. I mean, there's been a lot of Nissas, and they almost always look. She reminded me of like Gideon, where it's almost always the same ability set, just slightly tweaked.
They tweak
and
it,
then and then they do this one. That's like, hey, I am a summoner. I am gonna cast things off the top for free. You can play this thing for X equal to 1 and come in at 1, and then +2 her to 3. So she can be at any early game, late game. She sets up her own 0 ability. You can scry away, or you can scry and see what your second card is. The next turn you draw and then you 0 the second card. This thing is pretty bonkers. I'm excited to play it. It's not going to make it into the Planeswalker deck because I don't have enough creatures, but it'll definitely see play in a lot of other decks of mine. So I'm pretty excited. And I got one honorable mention of my favorite card out of the set. We have a term for players who have trouble making decisions, especially when new information is presented to them. We got a couple of those in our group. They kind of drag.
Oh, you played a mountain? Give me another 10 minutes.
Hold on. That changes everything.
Read that card?
That changes everything.
Does it tap the other way?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Can I read that? It's like you have that card on your battlefield right now.
He played it 2 minutes ago. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So we have a card that was printed, and this is an actual term that we've used, but they made a card out of it, and it is called decision paralysis. So this card may not be very good to play, but man, are we going to use it to rib people a lot in our play group. And I think you guys should too. If you guys got people you got that one player who just seems to overanalyze every situation and second guess their own plays, just get your foil decision paralysis out. Whenever they take too long, just slide it over to their side of the battlefield and be like, hey,
chucking it out.
Hey.
Just cheaty face them.
Speed it up. Well, anyways, so Amonkhet, overall, what do you guys think? Pretty good set. Not great for Commander.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It was fun to play in Sealed. I am pretty nonplussed as far as Commander goes.
There's not a lot of value there.
There's a handful of cards. I mean, I think it met expectations. I was having this conversation with somebody else, and like in a set, I expect 5 to 10 cards be playable in Commander.
Absolutely.
That's it. Yeah. Because we have such a big card pool that it's hard to usurp other cards that are good and already do things. Right. So, but no, not super impactful. I'm not excited about it.
I mean, I think the set's, when it comes to Commander, is mediocre. Yeah. I don't look at it as like, oh man, this is great. I don't look at it as it was the worst, but it definitely wasn't definitely wasn't that great.
I call back to when they said, hey, there's going to be gods in this set, and I got so excited. Excited.
Oh, man.
Because, I mean, you can play good stuff with Erebos. You can play good stuff. Yeah. I mean, Perforos has his own whole deck. It's brutal to generate.
Yeah.
And even Nylea, and I guess we talked about Heliod, not really that playable, and then neither really is Thassa, although she did see
some of
other
the
formats.
Dual color ones. I mean, Mogus is definitely a deck.
Yes, there's some really good.
Phoenix is a deck.
Yeah, these are all commanders you see, but we're not going to see a whole lot of Ronus decks, and we're not going to see a whole lot of Oketra decks. No. But so that was kind of a big letdown. I'm excited about Samut, and we were talking about Temet's got potential, but for EDH, we got a few little pieces here and there. It's great and limited, not hugely impactful for Commanders. So, anyways, next up, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing, some of our own little deck techs. So coming up next, what we are playing this week.
Okay, so this is Adam with my decks this week. I was playing Arkham Dagston and Saskia the Unyielding. So my Arkham Dagston deck is pretty stereotypical, to be perfectly honest. It is a straightforward combo deck. It is meant to basically power Artifact on a Basalt Monolith and then Staff of Domination, draw my deck, and kill people.
Gross.
Yeah, it's my most competitive-ish, spike-ish deck. But I like it because I combo like crazy, and almost every card in there leads to the combo. So I'm pretty excited about that. The Saskia deck is my weird attempt at an aggro deck, which is good and bad at the same time. Like Saskia's ability being, unique in that it deals damage to all of your creatures, deal damage potentially to 2 players. I kind of went with a theme of all of my creatures, or as many as I could have, not care about blocking, meaning even if they get blocked, they still get damage through. So you're still dealing damage to the player, so Saskia still triggers, so you're still hitting 2 people with each creature. Generally speaking, it's pretty loose. It's a lot of like big beefy green creatures with a weird niche ability, and that's about it. But I've had some success with it so far, so I'm pretty happy with it.
So it's not all female beats, no?
It's not all female beats. I'm sorry, right. I didn't go down that route. It is
we got a little switch of roles here.
Right, some of them are non-gender specific beasts.
Oh, that's fair.
And things like that.
Yeah.
So Ryan, what do you have that you're playing this week?
I have currently built on Moto. I have Brago, the King Eternal. That's what I was playing this week a little bit. Got my concession count getting up there. People don't like Winter Orb. I figured that out pretty easily.
Wow, Winter Orb, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I get to untap most of my stuff with my generals, so it turns out to be pretty good for me. I will say, though, if you do plan on building this deck ever for Moto purposes, make sure you set your stops correctly, because if you try to flicker your Brago and it's not set, it will just go straight to command zone because it registers as exiling.
Nice.
And it takes its replacement effect. I found out the hard way the first time I did it. I was like, this is never happening again. So, he has like that pseudo vigilance, but it's not a big one. And then last week I played Gonti, actually, and I've been playing him for a little while.
The Lord of Luxury.
The Lord of Luxury, man, and he has got some luxurious plays sometimes. I'll be honest, he's kind of your standardized mono black good stuff deck with a little bit of spice, maybe some synergy. The Panharmonicon, that card, the value.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, but it's really nice stealing someone's omniscience and using that blue value in a black deck. Oh.
Yeah, I'm really sad to keep going up against Gonti with my Planeswalker deck, and sometimes Gonti's getting more Planeswalkers than I am. Kind of sad.
I'm waiting for the day where I just take your Nicol Bolas.
Oh
my god.
All right, well, I have been playing a little bit of the more Timmy builds here. I got my Titania Beats deck. It's a classic mono green blow up your own lands. So it runs a ton of fetches. Basically every fetch I can get my hands on, even some of the Zendikar ones that have green and X. I'll go ahead and run those in there. And it has a little other flavorful cards. Got your Lotus Veil and your Scorched Ruins, and even has a I believe it's called Nature's Balance. I think it is. Everyone sacks down to 5 lands.
Oh, so, yeah. Natural balance or something like that.
Yeah, so the deck actually performs pretty decently. I usually think of it as a gimmick deck. I've got a lot of gimmick decks. They're little one-trick ponies. They either get there or they don't. But this one seems to do a bit better than I always expected. I think it's because Titania has the innate ability to ramp when you recast her. So she kind of reminds me a little bit of my Maelstrom Wanderer build, where you can keep board wiping, but she just keeps coming back. And she keeps coming back with friends. So getting board wiped several times a game doesn't even seem to slow her down that much. And surprisingly enough, a couple of 5/3s can kill players pretty fast. They just can't deal. So been a lot of fun with Titania. I also will always have my 5-color Planeswalkers deck built. Always have it. It's my pride and joy. So I'm always like tweaking it, but it's always laying around. So really enjoy playing that. It used to be a all Planeswalkers, 0 creatures build with 5 colors. It uses Sliver Hive Lord as a commander. Been tweaking, been playing tried Chromat, tried Progenitus, but landed on this guy because of the fact that I ran, I think at the time, maybe 8 board wipes. So I felt like an indestructible commander seemed pretty decent at defending my team. And it gets there every once in a while. Made some salty pods last Thursday night with some wins off of Deep Glow Skate and the Jocalops.
No comment. That was a good play.
Yeah.
That was a good play.
Yeah.
You cheesed your
I
way to
really
victory.
think you should play Chromat, though.
You think so? I heard
but you need to cast it a lot.
I've heard a lot of things. I just don't like having mana open, so But and one of my spicier texts, which I know is bad, and I know it's really bad, but I can't get rid of it, is Spreading Plague. And that's a 5-mana enchantment that says when a creature enters the battlefield, destroy each other creature that shares a color with it. So when you drop your Sliver Hive Lord, it destroys all creatures. And then when somebody else plays a creature, it blows up all other, black creatures, etc. Not obviously an indestructible Sliver Hive Lord. But that one seems to grind the game to a halt for my opponents, which they don't seem to be able to deal with it. So it buys me a lot of turns to play Planeswalkers. So I like them. I like the Sliver Hive Lord. I know some of the people out there play the Sliver Queen, but for token generation. But I'm sticking with it. I'm always playing Planeswalkers. If you guys get a chance, build a 5-color Planeswalker deck. The mana base is insanely expensive, but it's so much fun. So proxy it for now. Next up, we got to talk about Snex. We got a little segment called
All the Snacks.
Next.
So we decided that we all wanted to. We normally have a segment that we're trying to make. I can't say it's a segment that we always have, considering this is episode 2. But we had in our mind a segment called Chance Encounter, where we randomly pick a commander and we just try and build. We try and come up with how we build it.
It's not that
on the
fun.
fly. It's not that fun. Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah, Mikaeus was not. Mikaeus was not a
I
great
hope you guys
first pull.
like Mikaeus, because
No, it was
awful.
terrible. It was really hard.
I
to
like
play.
it. They're all build-arounds.
They're not.
But in celebration of Amonkhet coming out, in celebration of Amonkhet coming out, we decided that we should build at least an Amonkhet commander, and we kind of all settled on Hapatra. So we all worked a little bit on our Hapatra lists and tried to see how each of our individual personalities would come about building Hapatra. So without further ado, Adam, the resident Johnny, how do you build Hapatra?
So I had 2 key foci here. The first was I wanted to go very deep on the neg1 counters. Like I really wanted to kind of embrace that and see how I can exploit those. I didn't really care about necessarily generating the snake tokens out of it. I just wanted to dirtle around with neg1 counters. The second focal point for me was using all of the combos that existed with neg1 counters. So I spent a lot of time using. So like some of the key combos that I have are like Blowfly Infestation plus Nest of Scarabs and or Flourishing Defenses, plus any kind of Zulaport, Cutthroat, Blood Artist, whatever. As long as you put one neg1 counter on something, that's infinite life loss and you kill everybody. So that's pretty fun.
Pretty good. Yeah.
The other one is Devoted Druid and Quill Spike. You get an infinitely large Quill Spike, so you just got to make that unblockable, and then which we can do in here. Then there's some more common ones where you have like Mikaeus the Unhallowed, and pick a persist creature and pick a sack outlet, and you end up blowing up all kinds of things or gaining control of a whole bunch of things. So I have Woodfall Primus in there, and I have Puppeteer Click for those purposes. Also, sack outlet for that same thing. If you use something like Phyrexian Altar for that, then you get infinite colored mana out of it, and then you can even tack on a Quill Spike onto that, and you can pull off the neg1 counters from that, and so you get infinite Woodfall Primuses and infinite mana to build up Quill Spike and lots of that kind of stuff.
It's just really rude.
It seems super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to happen, but...
Well, I mean, all right, so to try and help support my strat, I mean, I probably don't have as much card draw and as much removal as I need, but I put in a few tutors so that I could at least get those pieces, because this deck, I don't see this deck doing anything if I don't get those pieces.
No, it's going to flop.
It will win-ish, or it will go off, and that's good enough.
If it goes off...
If I get an infinite Quill Spike and you block it with a 1/1, I'm happy.
I do believe you ran this list on Thursday, and I think I remember seeing you with 76 1/1 creatures.
Yes.
1/1. I think they were elves off of Flourish Defenses. It was pretty. It was one. I think a single Black Sun Zenith resulted in 76. Elves.
How did that Radko's charm feel?
It was glorious. I saw it happen.
That was all of the sadness. I actually, like, somebody literally had the exact card. Like I thought I was gonna get board wiped. I thought anything.
Yep.
I thought Golgari Charm was about to happen. I did not see Rakdos Charm.
Massacre Worm.
Oh god, that would
have been
that would have been.
It would have been worse.
Yeah.
Equally delicious.
Shannon would have played that.
Yeah.
I believe.
All right, Ryan, what do you got going on when it comes to Hapatra?
All right, Hapatra.
Snickers.
Vizier of poison. So, let's be real, guys. Infect.
You're the worst.
It's literally the only way to...
You are the worst.
Black-green, bro.
Wait, you said Vizier Poison, not Infect.
Yeah.
I mean,
So wait, you use
my
Marsh
deck
Viper?
is titled on Tapped Out.
What about Naf's ass?
Hapatra, Vizier of Infect. That's all I see on that card. I'm sorry. The poison just kind of slipped away. I mean, Infect was poisonous at one point. Anyways, no, it's black green good stuff with I think of the best 20 Infect creature I could find. Not saying that all of them are that great, but you know, a Plague Singer that flies over for a few points of Infect here and there, and then
I run Leech's main deck.
no,
Jesus.
you don't.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
That card is terrible.
The card is
And it's oh god,
You
don't
should
say
now.
that.
You should.
It will.
It's also got the few black and green card draw spells. It's got Library and Knight's Whisper and stuff in the lower curve end to like help refill your hand to try and match out that couple points of infect damage you need to kill someone in EDH. And that's about it, honestly. I mean, my deck's not like super awesome. It doesn't have a bunch of combos, but it'll kill you way before you do it. One card I did run into that I apparently I skipped over when playing. I believe this was in the black-white enchantment deck.
Daxos. The Daxos that
in
returned.
the Daxos deck, it was called Fallen Ideal. Do you guys know what that card does? It's like just saying, because I'm not familiar with it. I saw it. And I was like, oh wow, that's weird. You guys know Rancor?
Yeah.
It's a Rancor, but it's in black. And it's 3 mana instead of 1, but it gives enchanted creature +2/+1 in flying instead of trample.
Yeah.
And then it has the same clause.
But it
if
comes
the
back to your
creature dies,
hand.
It comes back to your hand.
Okay.
Oh.
I was like, that doesn't seem that bad.
That's
actually.
You can use
flying
that in
creature.
Ramsey's Overdark.
You spoke. What language was that?
What was that?
Ramsey's
No, we're playing
Overdark?
Magic.
Yeah.
What is that? What
It's
is that
from
from?
Legends.
Dragonlance? Come on, get out of here.
You're from Legends, you archaic fool. Shannon, what's up, man? What do you got over there?
All right, so I kind of went with a wide strategy. I like making snacks, lots and lots of snacks. So our lists are kind of the same, Adam. I noticed. I was looking at yours earlier. We have a lot of the same kind of mass token generation. Whereas you go with the let's sack them and kill people.
Yeah.
I go with the let's triumph of the hordes. So I kind of like blended the best of both
I was gonna
worlds.
say, like, so which deck are you?
Yeah,
Like,
so it's the
it's a
best of
minor
both-
taste.
Yeah. I mean, that is my only Infect card, and
Fair
it's
enough.
only because it tilts some people in our group pretty hilariously.
Yes.
It also runs a couple other stuff. You know, you got your Garrick Wild Speaker for another overrun. It also has Shishiro the Anointed, which gives snakes abilities, and they also loot when they draw, or they
nice.
they got Piracy online. It also has got some other Unspeakable Symbol, which I feel like you guys might want to run in your Persist style decks. An Unspeakable Symbol is an enchantment pretty popular in Skullbriar that says it's 3 mana and it says you can pay 3 life to put a +1/+1 counter on something. So that's a way for 3 life you can just remove the Persist neg1/neg1.
It is instant speed activation, right?
Yeah, it is instant speed activation.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. Also got Crippleth right in there because all my sneaky snacks can tap for mana now. Maybe gotta put a Concordant Crossroad in there and maybe try and do some kind of mass mana shenanigans.
God Pharaoh?
Ooh, that's a good
Right?
card. I heard that's a
Right?
good card. But I haven't really seen a combo. We were talking about it earlier. If you guys can come up with a combo with hasty mana generators in this kind of deck, let me know. Last sweet deck tech, Shaman of Forgotten Ways. Love this card. It's Biorhythm's back. I mean, y'all knew it was there.
Right.
No one really plays with it, but I feel like if I'm making lots of snacks, then I can get that Biorhythm activation to just surprise some people.
I have to say, I've seen a lot of people run that card, and I've yet to see anybody Biorhythm.
Oh, really?
I've
Yeah.
never seen it happen. I've
Yeah.
actually
Have
never.
you pulled it off?
No, it's 11 mana.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So, like,
it's not...
And most people are observant enough to be like, oh, is that a mythic mana door? Can I read that again real quick?
Right.
Oh, yeah, there's Biorhythm. Somebody should kill that.
Right.
I've just never seen it, which is insane to me.
Yeah. But anyway, so we'll have all of our lists up on Tapped Out, so you can come and check out, see which one you guys like, and see if Hapatra is your kind of game. That brings episode 2 to an end. Thanks for listening in. Thanks again to our sponsor, tappedout.net. Find all of our deck lists on Tapped Out, along with an incredible community of brewers willing to help tweak your deck for that next EDH night. Upgrade your account for extra deck cycles and feature time on the front page. You can find the Trinisphere on YouTube and Facebook at the Trinisphere. You can like, subscribe, and click the bell so that you get a notification when episode 3 drops. You can also find us on Twitter. The show's handle is at the Trinisphere. Adam, our Johnny, is at Squire9999. Ryan, our Spike, is at Snapmaster. And Shannon, the Timmy, is at Nikki Bolus. From all of us at the Trinisphere, happy brewing.